And I'd definitely choose to make the Bianca spots Colress.
Right.
But
go on.
In a deck like this, it's definitely better than most other decks since you're playing down a bunch of basics and trainers and whatnot. But I just don't agree with the choice personally.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the card either. It just seems like you're never going to be in a spot where you're really going to draw more than 3 cards at most.
Yeah.
But I mean, I agree. I like Tyler's deck building and I respect it, so I assume he has a reason, but I'm not personally a big fan. I'd much rather that be a Shauna or a Colress almost every time.
Yep. So Sorina's off to a pretty good start here. She got the trainer lock with a laser and band her turn 1. And Tyler is kind of just waiting for that torture to end. So as far as we know, this is a mirror match. Sorina may or may not be playing Raichu.
Right. Yeah, Sorina, I'm not sure if she's playing Raichu. I looked through Tyler's deck a second ago while he was getting into the future match area, and he does indeed play a Raichu line, which should be pretty helpful here.
He also plays a Spiritomb, which is pretty interesting.
To cut off the G booster, I assume.
Yeah.
Spiritomb has an ability that says both you and your opponent can't play A-Specs while it's in play, and then it also has an attack for 1 colorless where you shuffle your hand in and draw as much as your opponent. Six cards? Just 6 cards straight up. So good versus all the decks that rely on their A-Specs a lot, such as Genesect, Virizion, and just a decent consistency card as well. I also saw some number of the non-EX Yveltal in Tyler's deck, but I don't remember how many there were, and we see Sorina drop 1 there.
So I think this is probably the matchup that may be the most heavily tilted by going first. Just mirror matches in general, I suppose. Like Sorina's at an energy advantage, a board advantage. So.
Well, Sorina actually went second, I think.
Really?
I'm pretty sure that Tyler went first, and then Sorina. That's why she did with a quaking punch immediately.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, but basically for the Seismitoad decks, a lot of the time going first or going second is like going first.
Yeah.
Because you just quaking punch, basically lock him out of the game. And Tyler has also stayed asleep for a few turns now, and the situation's not looking good for him. We do see him draw the Voltorb and the Pikachu.
Yeah, the Electrode is interesting. Most people are not playing that. You know, he's playing Electrode, Bianca, and Colress, and
yep.
I assume N and Juniper. I kind of like that, especially after we've seen so many matches be stompy due to no supporters. So.
For sure, and I know the Team X-Files guys have liked Electrode for a long time.
Yeah.
Ross played it in his deck at Worlds and Nationals. JP, back when I was testing with him, testing Donphan, he was playing it. And I saw Tyler playing it in his as well. Yeah, they've always been big fans of it. And it's good. I mean, it's hard to justify the slots in the deck and the bench space sometimes, but it's certainly much like when you're playing a Napoleon deck or back in the days of Clay Doll or something like that, it kind of prevents you from dead drawing. Only 4 cards means that you can definitely not get what you need, but it gives you a few extras, like a bicycle every turn.
Yep.
And there's a Colress for 9 from Sorina.
Electrode is usually also safe on the bench since you have to deal with the threats, so
Definitely.
It's not as high a priority as Claydol was back in the day.
Oh, definitely.
It just gets to sit there and do its job the whole game, if it gets out.
And there's the knockout.
Yeah, Sorina's just mowing down Tyler's dudes with this Seismitoad.
Tyler and Sorina are pretty good friends as well, so that's why there's a little bit of playful body language and banter.
Animations and
yeah. And there we go with a X-Ball for 80. Sorina draws a Garbodor. I guess the Garbodor pieces aren't too relevant in this matchup. It turns off Spiritomb, but that's not huge. Turns off Electrode, and that's about it.
Yep.
I don't know if Tyler plays Darkrai, but I assume not. Sorina play a second Seismitoad.
No, you can. I was trying to make it easier.
She might look for the KO on the Mewtwo with her own Mewtwo. That's not too unrealistic to get. but she will just choose.
All she would have
Yveltal.
used the DCE because she was a muscle band already. So do you think, if you're Sorina, do you go for another Quaking Punch, just to cut Tyler off of support or to items, or is it too risky versus the Mewtwo?
You know, I think I would, because she already has her own Mewtwo. So even when the Mewtwo KOs the Seismitoad, you get to respond with your own.
Mm-hmm.
But then Tyler has another Mewtwo. It's a tough call. I think I probably wouldn't, since Seismitoad had 80 on it. If it had any less than 80, I would have definitely leaned more towards Quaking Punch again.
That's fair. I mean, I think the situation you can get yourself into is Quaking Punch for 50, Mewtwo hits you, and then you can respond with an Yveltal.
Right.
But I also understand Sorina has an advantage, or has a lead, and kind of wants to be aggressive. Very likely. It looks like was that an Ultra Ball from Sorina? I missed that when we were talking.
It looks like a Trubbish got into the discard, so.
Just trying to thin her deck out. No cuts by Tyler.
No, that's abnormal.
Sportsmanship.
So she's just going to go the Quench route.
450. Tyler draws. And he just ships the turn back. Wow.
That is harsh.
How unfortunate.
Yeah.
So that Seismitoad goes to 160. There's the second Dark. Didn't see if she had the double colorless in her hand. Taking a quick look through her discard pile.
Yeah, so Sorina's in a pretty dominant position here. Raichu makes it a little bit easier to come back, but since she's kind of just going for the Seismitoads, Raichu's not as relevant.
So I'm taking a little bit of time here to think.
Sorina is another player that will take long turns and then very short turns.
Right. Needs time to map out the next few turns. And there's the Dark on Seismitoads. So Sorina seems to be kind of in on the plan of just Quaking Punch.
Yep, I think that's correct in the case that your opponent has little to no options.
Right, I mean, we've seen Tyler literally
Chokes
play
them out even
nothing.
worse.
So you just do 4 supporters in a row. There's a double colorless, and in addition to 2 Darks.
Energy.
There's a Lysander as well, and she's going to go ahead and do another 50. That Mewtwo is now at 100. Tyler top decks an N, which I imagine he'll play.
Yeah.
And there is a Dark Red by Tyler. Showing what he thinks of that N. And does Tyler play Seismitoad? You know?
I do not know.
I'm not sure, like, with Mewtwo, Spiritomb, and Electrode, and
there's a lot of stuff in
Raichus, if you can. Although I suppose Ross played a bunch of different basics in his deck that was fighting-centric at Worlds. So, guess we won't know. And Sorina goes down to 4 cards. It's like one of them as a bicycle.
Seems likely that he would play at least one. It probably deserves a spot.
And right now you see a little bit of the Tyler Ninomura kind of fake outs with the shrug and attached to my Mewtwo.
No.
Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, what?
Oh, this is nothing of consequence.
Right. Draw. So I think Sorina has 5 in hand, and she can play her energy and a basic to get it down to 3, and then bike for 2 if she'd like. I believe the basic is a Trubbish, which isn't the best, but if Tyler tries to knock it out, we'll put him at uneven prizes. But no, she has an Yveltal EX, so just fine.
So she'll just attach to her active and bike. She gets the N.
Bike for 2 hits an N.
It's
Not
fine.
perfect, but
She
whatever.
hits a judge.
Both going down to 4, but Sorina has an advantage. Tyler does get to draw a card first, but I think this favors Sorina, and that Mewtwo should have 100 on it.
Yep.
As well. So we'll be getting knocked out. Because I guess it's her last opportunity to really play an N that'll draw or anything as well. And there's 4 cards. If I'm Sorina, I'm definitely Ultra Balling away that Yveltal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And the Stadium, I think it is.
I think.
Was it a max potion?
I think so. It's really hard to tell the left player's hand.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I think it's a Verbank. I would definitely have Ultra Ball those away just to thin my deck out a little bit. That's one of Tyler's paths to victory is that N.
Yeah. So Tyler speeds up because...
Yep, and it's gonna be 100 damage. It's also Tyler's first time he can play items.
Yep.
I think maybe all game. I don't.
Yeah.
What was?
I can't.
Oh, it was
tell.
a laser.
Okay. So it's just.
That's gonna be 100. Go up to 110 after poison.
Uh,
Oh, 120 actually.
yeah.
So 130
So
after
depending on
poison.
Sorina's hand, she could actually win this turn. She just needs a DCE, I think. Yeah.
Yep. She's asleep though, so now she needs a switch effect too.
She top decked the Juniper. Oh, yeah.
These decks do commonly play switch effects though, right?
Yep.
She should be able to find one.
Usually 2, I would
Right.
say. 2 or 3. Maybe more with Garbodor, but then again, you play Floatstone, so.
Right.
This is definitely going to be tough for Tyler to come back from since Sorina has her own Mewtwo's and can KO his pretty easily. While Tyler cannot KO hers.
Right. I mean, if Sorina gets an EX knockout, it's game anyway.
Yeah.
So it could just be, unless Tyler has a Lysander in his hand or some other way to deal with that Mewtwo, it could just be a game of, all right, who cares? My Yveltal dies. Woohoo, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mewtwo you the game, but we'll see. And she fails to find off an Ultra Ball.
Yep.
Trying to thin her deck out a bit.
I might have. I guess her Garbodor pieces are probably just all gone. She failed to find.
Yeah, I assume she would have found something, you know.
Right.
So she has a DC actually. She just needs a switch effect.
Yeah.
She's contemplating playing the bike, but I think I slammed the.
I think she's contemplating attaching the DCE or
Right.
not, since it then becomes vulnerable to Mewtwo.
Right. If I'm in her position though, assuming that she has the pieces to be able to retreat in her deck, I think I just play out all my cards, attach the DCE, attach the Floatstone, and then bike for 3, and then Juniper, drawing 10 cards. So pretty good odds. On the other hand, it can completely lock you out of the game if you don't hit it.
Right.
And there's an end by Tyler. So this is one of Tyler's paths to victory. Sorina's certainly ahead. Tyler is likely to lose, but in end of 2, really, she will need to draw a DCE this turn if Tyler doesn't deal with that Mewtwo, and it's not the greatest odds in the world.
Yeah, she'll still have the Seismitoad as an option as well.
Definitely. But it'll even things
to
up
get
in that
more
way.
turns. Yeah.
And there's 2 cards. We can't see what they are.
Probably has an Ultra Ball, something yellow, I think.
Pikachu, Ultra Ball, and 2
Yeah.
unknowns from my side. Ultra Ball to
Fine,
go get the
Electrode,
Electrode.
nice. And that Electrode coming in handy. Just draws 3 more.
Yeah. Turning all your ends into card advantage. There's 1, 2, 3 cards. There's a biker gang approaching the venue. Tyler's gonna go ahead.
Spiritomb, alright.
Burbank and pass. That's a knockout. Yeah, it's far too risky, even with 2 cards in hand, I think, to leave that Mewtwo active there. There's a Seismitoad. Sorina has an end in her hand at least. She draws another copy of End, and her last card is a Floatstone. I think you have to play the Floatstone here.
Yeah, definitely. There's no reason not to.
Which Pokemon you attach it to?
Probably Darkrai.
I was gonna say Darkrai because it's 3 energy attack. You're
Yeah.
probably not doing it anyways. The Yveltal might actually be the worst choice of any of them.
Yeah.
Although it is the one you want stuck active the least.
Yeah.
It's unlikely to matter overall, but
Yeah. It probably won't matter either way. So Sorina wants at least a Dark Energy. Oh, she got the DCE.
Juniper.
But
Yeah, Juniper DCE is a big
Raichu ran
game though.
away.
She could
Yeah,
Oh, she's going.
she could just bluff it, honestly. Leave that Seismitoad active and then attach the DCE and hope Tyler tries attacking with Mewtwo.
Right. The problem is that she can't even attack with Seismitoad, though, if she doesn't attach the DCE.
She doesn't need to. If I was Sorina there, I would have acted like
You got nothing.
frustrated, but not too frustrated, and just like played it your emotions very carefully in the hopes that Tyler overextends.
Right.
Which he is not a person who is likely to overextend, but you know.
You gotta play to your outs.
Yeah. Yep.
And she basically did what you said. She left. She didn't put the EX active. I just think of for fear of losing the game.
Yep.
But she did exactly what you said, hoping that she'll bait Tyler into making a wrong move, or that she herself can just draw a Lysander. You see Tyler's good luck charm fall onto his deck.
Let's see what he gets.
There's a
Lysander,
Shaman.
something.
Yeah, Lysander is pretty relevant here.
He'll probably just end up attacking the Spiritomb. This has kind of become a waiting game for whichever player can KO the other Mewtwo first.
Oh, they have Hypnotoxic Laser, though. That could change things a bit.
Gotten some good flips on those. I cannot tell what that is. Yo, it's Yveltal.
What? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a full art.
Oh, I see. It looked almost orange. I thought it was a Lucario or something. And that's a Tails.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, now she has the same predicament as before, where she has the bike.
Yeah, and that DC in hand again.
So if you're Sorina, can you still afford to pass here?
Bikes. Gets that. Ugh.
Bike, DCE, rough bike. Draws a Garbodor. Perfect. All playable.
I think you just. Oh man, this is tough.
And by pass, I mean pass without attaching or anything. Just again bluffing that you have nothing.
I would probably attach a DCE to Seismitoad.
Yeah, that's probably fine.
She chooses not to. No. Tyler has another N, which would be pretty optimal here. Especially with Electrode and Spiritomb on board.
Yeah, he ends, he goes to 2, he goes up to 4. Does Lysander do anything right now? No. I think he'd want to save the Lysander for if he can hit another energy, or another DCE.
Tyler also has the option of setting up a Raichu to KO the Yveltal, so...
Oh, right. He can actually just hit another energy on the Mewtwo. I apologize, he has a muscle band attached. And both players go into 2. Sorina draws Colress Laser.
Pikachu and something on Tyler's side.
It's actually been much more of an interesting back and forth type match than I thought.
Nope, it was a Dark Energy.
I'll go ahead and magnetic draw.
Yeah, these comebacks are crazy when one player is so far ahead.
Right. There's the draw. I think she has Laser Colress in her hand. And at this point, if I'm Sorina, I think I just play the Colress. I think I don't know how many ends Tyler's played, but it's at least 2 or 3. And I think just being able to draw the cards and potentially hit Lysander, DCE or something is just going to be too important. Yeah, she's drawing 9 cards off this.
And she'll be able to attack with Seismitoad at least, which makes Tyler's options a lot more limited for finding Raichu.
Definitely. There's the Lysander.
DCE.
Just 2 DCEs. Alright.
And a Dark, so she can attach with attack with Seismitoad this turn.
Yeah, I would attach Dark to Seismitoad. I think the fear that she has, though, is that he'll be able to knock her out somehow by leaving.
It is getting close with the Mewtwo.
Yeah.
So she chooses to just pass with her Yveltal active.
Tyler wakes up, draws a card. It's a Raichu. Tyler taking a minute to survey the board.
Sends the Mewtwo in.
Oh, and he has the
Oh, wow.
Lysander.
Ugh, that's gotta feel bad.
Yeah,
That's a
very
heartbreaker.
very close game one. Goes to Tyler Ninomura. Interesting game. Well, actually, a lot more interesting of a game than I thought it would be.
Yeah, those laser flips were really huge.
Definitely.
Buying Tyler enough turns to catch up.
Tyler is also known locally as kind of, not only is he the best player, but he also is just a player who understands games. He's a game designer by hopeful profession one day.
Right.
And he's very good at playing to his outs and understanding his odds, and kind of I've definitely seen Tyler more than any other player escape from situations in which I thought he could not win.
Yeah,
just by
definitely.
relying on the 5% odds, you know what I mean, over and over time, you're going to hit some of them.
He's also not one to tilt and concede too early and start making reckless plays and whatnot. So.
Right. Both players shuffling up. Do you think that going first for Sorina is a big deal here?
Yeah, it's definitely good, especially if she starts with anything that isn't Seismitoad, so she can get the energy first.
I think it matters more to Tyler because he has Raichus and things of that sort that are pretty good in this matchup, despite how last game would have gone. How last game did go. They are pretty good in this matchup.
And Sorina is not playing Raichu.
Yeah, we definitely would have saw a piece of it.
More freedom with his Yveltals than Sorina does.
Definitely. And that's one of the things that Seismitoad provided too, is just when it came out, it just provided every deck this kind of alternate attacker. Because, I mean, 6 months ago, those Raichus would just ran over the Yveltals. I don't think it would have even been close.
So she does start with the Seismitoad. Probably going to be similar to last game, to be honest, is the early Seismitoad starting the lock.
Right. Interesting that she decides to attach the Dark Raichu. I think that she realizes that Raichu can be a threat this game.
Yeah.
And
so she Junipers her hand away. Plays a laser there. Tails.
Tyler preemptively puts his Pokemon to sleep. There's a laser on Tyler's side. Tails again.
So Tyler gets the baby Yveltal with energy and muscle band and N. So he'll be able to swing into the Seismitoad.
Gonna do a big 15. No dark in the discard pile, but it's not too important. And getting the first attack off there puts Sorina in an awkward situation where the Seismitoad isn't going to live forever. We saw Sorina the early turns of game 1. She got a lot of free Seismitoad attacks that she's not going to get anymore. Obviously, 50 isn't going to knock out a Seismitoad, but it certainly threatens to knock it out a lot earlier than last game. He's going to go ahead.
Yeah,
50,
when you're able
she goes up to 80.
Apply pressure with a non-EX in a sort of mirror match, it puts you at a huge advantage because your opponent has to deal with that active Pokemon, but it really doesn't net them nearly as much rewards for the effort they have to put into KO that baby Yveltal. And Sorina debating what to do. Looks like she's trying to decide whether or not to attach the DCE to Seismitoad. And she will.
I think
Followed by an N.
I think that's probably fine. I assume she only plays 1 or 2 Seismitoads, so DCE is not exactly the most important thing in her deck. Obviously, Yveltal can use them to great effect, but I think that getting a Quaking Punch off is worth the loss of the DCE.
Yeah.
Especially when Tyler doesn't have a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
Whole lot of nothing for Sorina. No supporters.
Yeah. She plays that Trubbish down. It's interesting.
Yeah, actually really interesting there. I'm not sure.
Maybe she felt like the Electrode was
Too big last game.
too much of a problem. Sure, Tyler will just continue whacking away at this Seismitoad with his baby Yveltal.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason not to just exchange or engage in that trade.
Right, and
They
they
both
both
get
died
knocked
from
out.
poison.
Yeah.
And,
I think they're trying to call a judge about
oh god.
who promotes first. I
Oh.
think that Sorina becomes the active player, and I think Tyler has to promote first.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I think the promotion happens before your turn ends, is why Tyler would promote first, right?
I don't know. I think Tyler promotes first. It's unlikely to matter either way.
Yeah. Just close your eyes and pick
Right.
one.
I think it's like Sorina going into her turn, she becomes the active player and can decide how things happen.
Okay.
So she decides like dies to poison, you promote first, but I'm not totally sure.
So Sorina just attaches to her baby Yveltal and attacks. Tyler
Bringing
gets the
back that
Raichu.
card.
See if he can get the DCE. He does not have it in hand.
He can get his hand down to 1 card and then
Yep.
magnetic draw.
He can get it down to 0. His laser and Ultra Ball.
Oh, you're correct. He could also just Lysand or hope to hit the DCE.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has another draw supporter in hand.
That would definitely be the risky way to go.
Yeah, you have to hope you're hitting a DCE off of a probably 40 card deck, 35 card deck.
Yep.
Kind of debating.
And the Darkrai ends up being really good here against Raichu.
There's a
he does
Lysander
choose
for the
Lysander.
Yveltal. There's the laser. He does have the laser as kind of the backup, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he's throwing away these cards for nothing. Like, if he misses the DC, at least he gets somewhere. And if I were him, I would just Ultra Ball for another Raichu. I don't know what's in his
definitely.
hand, mind you.
He decides to attach a muscle band.
Looks like he may have messed up a little bit
Yeah,
there.
he-
Thought
he-
that he could.
That was a rare hesitation from Tyler. Like,
Looks like he drew Juniper
Frozen.
Dark Energy. Yeah.
what have I done?
Looks like Sorina doing some math in her head.
Yeah. Do you know if Sorina plays Energy Switch?
I do not. There's a Dark on my Yveltal.
Yep. That seems really good.
Doing 80 up to 110.
Yeah. That puts a lot
Oh, no,
of
he's,
pressure on Sorina.
He's bouncing the DC over
Yeah,
the Raichu.
yeah.
I didn't even
That's
realize that was
more
a
pressure on
DC.
Sorina.
Yeah, that's huge.
Since it's actually really hard for her to KO Yveltal EX.
Yeah, that's actually huge.
Yeah.
And draw for turn isn't Ant. She does have a draw supporter.
Yep. She may will get a good Night Spear off.
There's a switch.
Yep, she plays a switch. Decides to promote baby.
I think promoting Baby Yveltal is correct there. You don't want to
Yeah,
let
yeah.
that Dark
Yeah,
Ride
why
get any
not, right?
damage.
It can also retreat for free still.
Yeah. And there's the attack, and there's an N. Putting Tyler down to 4.
So, yeah, Night Spear here is pretty powerful. I think that Dark Ride has 60 on it. It's really, really hard to tell.
I don't think the Darkrai has damage.
Really? What am I seeing?
The Darkrai?
Yeah,
You're talking
okay,
about?
okay, yeah.
You know, I don't think it has damage on it. It hasn't been active at all.
So, it'll be hard for Tyler to deal with Darkrai.
And there's an Ultra Ball.
If she can get Garbodor this turn, that would actually be very good to prevent Tyler from drawing cards off Electrode. But it doesn't look like she's going to.
She is Ultra Balling.
Yeah.
Should be okay. I wasn't sure how many cards she discarded yet.
See what she decides to do here.
Taking a glance at her deck. I
She
think.
may go for a Seismitoad, maybe.
Looks like she pulled an Yveltal EX to the front. Oh, she pulled a Mewtwo EX to the front. Now she pulled a Seismitoad to the front. Getting the Seismitoad.
Yep.
I think that makes sense. Kind of a catch-all. You know, she doesn't have anything specific. She did discard the DCE, so I assume that means that she plans on attacking with the Yveltal this turn.
Yeah.
The non-EX Yveltal.
She's going for the Dark.
We're going
I think
just straight Darkrai.
I think that's good.
Yeah, it's her only way to put pressure on the Raichu, I suppose.
Yep.
Tyler draws a switch per turn.
So a DCE would actually KO that Darkrai here.
Would it?
Yeah. He has it in hand.
We'd only put 160 on it. Because he bounced the DCE to the Raichu last turn, so then he has a Dark.
Okay.
And there's the Lysander for that Yveltal.
Okay.
Just gonna go ahead and take the 2 prizes.
Yep.
And that's the thing that you know, I didn't play back when the original EXs were around. Did you?
Very little.
And so that's the thing that I've seen a lot in these past couple years is just like Tyler being at 2 prizes, especially with Lysanders in the format, almost means that he's at 0 prizes. You know, like it means that he's so close to winning. Like you have that constant threat on board. It's much different than having 4 or 3.
Basically over.
Right.
Like outstanding ends aside.
Right. Which Sorina does have an N in her hand.
Yep. And the Darkrai Night Sphere is good here. It'll KO the Raichu. And puts 30 on probably a Pikachu, I would think. Since
yeah, I
the
think
Yveltal
she
already has 90 on it.
Oh, she just
nice,
hit the Lysander.
She's able to KO
Or the
Yveltal.
She KO'd the Raichu as well.
Oh, yeah.
So she just kind of wiped the board. And again, I think this might be a closer game than we thought. There's a DCE off the top for Tyler. Did I hit you?
And, yeah, Sorina can still attach that Muscle Band to the Darkrai to one-hit stuff, too.
And Ultra Ball. Not sure what Tyler plans on getting. He pulls up Raichu to the front.
Yep.
And Sorina does have 2 non-EX Pokemon on the bench, so that could lead to some kind of shenanigans with Lysanders and catchers, but I think Tyler's already used too many to be able to do that. Drawing 2 cards.
Looks like he has a Sphere Tomb, Baby Yveltal. Not sure.
DCE onto the Pikachu, and there's a Juniper.
Alright. Sorry for all the guesswork. It's very difficult to see the player's hands. And
There's a
Tyler
Spirit
benching some
Tomb.
Pokemon fills up his bench, so
Again, adding the density of the deck, I think.
120.
Draw for the turn is a Float Stone. Float Stone on the Trubbish.
And I think you want to go for Seismitoad here.
Yeah, Darkrai has a significant amount of damage on it. Charge isn't doing anything. Baby Yveltal just sets it up so that Tyler can knock it out.
Yep.
He can down to one prize, not getting anything. So yeah, I think Sizer may be what you want to be doing. Tyler's bench is full, which means there will be no Mewtwo shenanigans or a Toad of his own if he does play a single copy or two maybe, and we didn't see it last game.
We have a serious judge hand.
Judge pointing someone to a registration table.
Yeah, Sorina trying to decide what to do. She may not have DCEs left. Or only one.
Benching that Yveltal EX is a very risky play.
Yeah, that's...
And I guess you can knock out the... Well, no, Pikachu has a DC on it as well.
Yep.
Perhaps Tyler only plays 3-2 Raichu. And
Maybe.
if she's privy to that information, that could change her decision. I mean, he could also play Sacred Ash or something like that. Taking a glance through a discard pile before attaching to that. Taking that Muscle Band to that Yveltal.
Yeah, she has to do this and then try to get a laser and then Night Sphere the following turn to take 2 prizes at once.
Right. The problem with the being on the end plan here is that Tyler just gets actual 5 cards off of it because of the Electrode.
Unless you top decks Garbodor.
Yeah. So what's Sorina's ideal draw here? Like
Garbodor definitely. And
like
just
Lysander or Juniper.
Draw supporter, yeah.
And Colress. Tyler hits N and something else. So I'm going to go ahead and retreat. Attack with Baby Yveltal, which is your only real option here. Going to go ahead and do 50. No dark in the discard pile, looks like. Nope. Tyler draws for turn. Top decks the Lysander.
Oh my God.
And Tyler Ninomura advances to 3-1 here in Vancouver.